Well, hello everyone. How are all of you? I know it's been a while since I streamed. I've pretty much been bedridden for most of last week, and this is the first time I've actually felt well enough to actually just sit and play some games. And so, with that, we're actually going to start into Final Fantasy XIV's new expansion that just dropped. Well, technically, it's early access for those who pre-ordered it, and it actually goes live here in what I think Tuesday, which is what, the 2nd or the 1st of July. But let's get into Dawntrail here. New world to explore. Jika has a message for you. Welcome back. I've just had word from Aaronville. Seems he's managed to secure passage to Tyrol aboard a guild ship vessel. Wait in the main hall while I go and inform your travel companions. It should only take a moment. Oh, and if you're wondering about my level, it's because I felt well enough to get up for like half an hour or so at a time, and so I did some roulettes over like the last 2 days. This is the first time where I feel like I'm good for a couple of hours. Ojika gave us good news. We've made ready to set sail on a moment's notice. The only one yet to arrive is Aaronville himself. Ah, you're all here. Took some persuasion, but the cleaner's guild ship has granted us places aboard a vessel bound for Tyrol. There'll be other passengers, researchers and artisans and the like, so we'll need to share deck space. That's fine. Aaronville, I doubt anyone would expect we'd have a ship all to ourselves. They're not casting off just yet, so if you have any lingering concerns, now's the time to voice them. I wouldn't call it a concern, but everyone's still clear on what it is we'll be doing in Tyrol, yes? We've not forgotten. I think I have. The nation of Tuliola is in the midst of deciding its next ruler. As your chosen allies, we shall assist you during the rite of succession and support your bid to become Dawn Servant. In addition to that, Alphino and I have another objective. As part of its reconstruction, Garlemald seeks ways to reconcile and re-engage with its neighbors. By visiting Tyrol, we hope to learn more about how its myriad cultures interact with one another, how they find common ground, develop stronger ties, sort of insights that might help our friends in Ilsabard. We'll pursue this goal in our own time. You can be sure that we'll give the contests all due attention. That's all I ask. Otherwise, you're welcome to do as you like. You want to find out about your grandfather, right, Cryle? Yes, as far as we can determine from the old missive I found, he'd been tasked with investigating the Golden City by your father, the Dawn Servant. Well enough, we have no record of that investigation in our archives, and nothing to explain the earring which accompanied the letter. Thus, for reasons both official and personal, I should very much like to get to the bottom of this mystery. I'm sure there'll be a chance to speak with Papa. You can get your answers right from the source. I look forward to meeting him. In any case, you're not the only one with an interest in the City of Gold. The Golden City is a children's bedtime story. I'm part of this expedition only because the third promise has commanded that I serve as guide. Still playing the part of the stoic servant, I see. Have you? Don't you dare tell me you've changed your mind. Yeah, that sounds about right. In all too many different ways. Yeah, that's what they tell me. Ready then, if you are all still committed to the journey, then I say we make ready to depart. Here as they are, the others have already left for the harbor. We're not in danger of missing the boarding call, but perhaps we should be on our way as well.
Savoring the moment? I can feel your excitement, your eagerness to explore the unknown.
Yeah, we are.
Well, for once, the fate of the world doesn't rest on our shoulders. We might even get a chance to enjoy ourselves.
Do not be so quick to relax. Oh, Tural may seem but a short sail away on a map. The vast seas between brim with peril. The treacherous waters of Shade's Triangle alone have claimed countless vessels. Even following the safe route plotted by Admiral Bufiswin herself, this will be no pleasure cruise.
Perhaps, but my voyage here was uneventful enough. Disappointing me so.
Either way, the two of you have first-hand experience, which will be of great comfort in the days ahead, I'm sure.
Aye, it's nothing new to us.
All aboard! We're casting off!
It's time. I trust you have everything you need?
Well, how about that? Yeah.
And so does our ship cast off from the docks. We sail west, as Cattenram did some 80 years past, bound for the New World, known to her children as the continent of Toral.
Just wait, Papa. When this contest is said and done, it'll be your daughter who sits the throne. Me, Woklamat.
Smooth sailing so far?
Aye, so far so good. But this sea, she's a fickle one. Calm one moment, blowing a gale the next.
I'll take my rest while I can, then.
We left port what seems an age ago now, and we've seen naught but open water ahead. I knew Tural was far, but it's another thing to really know. Speaking of which, some of our fellow passengers have made this trip before. Several times, in fact. I was able to learn a few things about Tuliolal and the right of succession. Since we still have a long way to go, why not have a chat with them yourself? I'm sure you have questions of your own. Did you look out across these same waters, Grandfather?
That is a name. Oh, this was my first visit to Toral. Fontaines the name. I was working at Esh Times Aesthetics in Oldham, you see. But my employment with them came to an end. So I visited Charlotte in the hopes of starting over. I was attempting and failing to find a new job. I seized the chance to board this vessel when I overheard room for another passenger suddenly opened up. I'm told the Dawn Servant welcomes all, regardless of origin, and so truly all seemed like the perfect place to begin anew. Hopefully things will be better this time. See you in Orzia before, you great and famous hero. I've had enough of playing the simpleton. There's a time when we took great pains to maintain the deception, but with more of you Orisians coming to control, it's become impractical. Besides, my mercenary days are over. Too many of our warbands have fallen, so we head home to lick our wounds. My story? Well, since you asked, I wanted to retrace the historic journey of the great Kettenrahmen, you know? The first Eorzean to set foot on Tyrell almost 80 years ago. The Mumujaw's leaders said to have welcomed Kettenrahmen with open arms and sent him home with a bounty of silverware as a token of their friendship. But the real treasure was the crops he brought back. Pomatos, tomatoes, and corn, which spread across Eorzea like wildfire. His grand adventure led to a culinary revolution. Tales say Kettenram returned to Tyrell several times after that, but his ship vanished during his last recorded voyage, and he was never heard from again. Not even a seasoned explorer like him could meet such an end as testimony to the ocean's peril. Adventurer, I presume. I'm a merchant myself based in Ulda. Specialty imports and exports, Eorzean and Tyrali both. This is your first crossing the salt, as they say. Do remember that the social mores of Eorzea are not necessarily the same as those over yonder. Consider this. It is not uncommon for the various races to be referred to instead by the names of certain clans for the Mukote, the Hadsaro, the Hrothgar, the Zabral, and not because every member of a given clan is of the same race mind, but because many individuals of said race are associated with that clan. Fair assumption in certain cases, but take care not to give offense. Do you want to make a wager? We're taking bets on who will be sat next in the Dawn Servant's shiny chair. There are 4 elements in the rite of succession. Your young Yuklamat being one of them, of course. But from what a Mumul bloke was telling us, the other 3 are all strong contenders. Not too many keen to risk their coin on the third promise. Did you learn anything of interest? Oh, I hadn't heard that about the clan names. We should have Yuklamat and Aaronville teach us the ones we should know. I'm just getting a little chilly up here on deck. Let's all gather in the cabin. Excuse me.
We're in for a proper storm, it seems.
How's your stomach? Any better?
I don't know what you mean. I don't get seasick.
I think you are.
I'm just feeling a little nauseous is all.
Isn't that what seasickness is?
Aaronville, you were born in Tyrell, yes? Do many Vieira live there?
The Shatona, as my people are called, have set Tyrell.
And your family?
I know nothing of my father, not even his name.
My heads are just shut off.
As for my mother,
We're in the teeth of a narrow, lads! Reef that sail before the mast snaps!
Oh dear.
Okay, who's on watch? This wind's too strong to take in us! Ah! I'm going off the mast! We need help! Get him below decks first! Quickly! Before he's washed overboard!
Come, we should lend what aid we can.
Yeah, we probably should.
I have not seen the ocean rage with such fury before or since. The heaving waves tossed our ship about like a toy, sending sailors tumbling. The dauntless Alizé, quick to the rescue, was almost lost to the sea herself. Meanwhile, our champion rushed to deploy the vessel's magical defenses, and thereby shield us from the lightning. What an extraordinary life she must lead to be able to operate such a device with practiced ease. Woklama, too, threw herself into the rescue efforts, though one might have mistaken her for another soul in distress. By the time the unruly seas had calmed, our strength was all but spent, and we had yet to even glimpse the shores of Tural. In retrospect, of course, that battle against the storm would prove a fitting prelude to the coming contest for the throne.
Because of course it did. Yeah, something's going on. Time to get up, see what's up.
Morning. Joining us for some fresh air? Seems my belly has settled along with the weather, but I'll feel much better once we're on solid ground.
Can't blame her there.
Can't be much farther now, can it?
You say that.
Seabirds. Land must be near. You need only hold out a while longer.
For a dark moment, I thought the ocean might swallow us. Glad to have my pessimism proven wrong.
In other good news, I examined the sailor who took a fall, and he's faring well. I'm sure he'll make a full recovery.
Good news indeed. If all's well, then we needn't delay in launching the landing boat. Ships have to lower anchors some way from shore. Too close, and they risk having their underbellies ripped open by the reefs that crowd Tuliolal's coasts. Come.
Thanks for bringing us all this way.
Ha! We only did what we were paid to do. Couldn't hardly set you adrift halfway.
Well,
If anything, it should be us thanking you for helping us through that beast of a storm. As a matter of fact, everyone's starting to fancy your chances in the contest. At this rate, we won't be able to lay wagers no more.
Then I better not let you down. Oh. Easy, stomach. Easy.
We're the last to board. If there's nothing left to say, then let's shove off, shall we?
Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
always.
There, look, my friends. Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
At last, we are come to the land you call the New World. To my home, Tural.
There we go. We got the opening credit. Or well, the opening title screen, I guess. What's been surprising so far is the login queues have not been bad.
Gods, I've seen cities with an impressive mix of cultures, but this is something else.
Is that a... No. I've never seen Vanu feathers in that color before.
You'll find much here you never knew existed. There may be a sea route now, but visitors to Tulihiolal are still few and far between. And as we don't build seafaring ships, only a handful of Turali ever venture abroad.
Mamulja sellswords mostly. Those willing to play the fool sail with Lominsan merchants to secure employment in Eorzea.
I suppose that makes us a rare sight in your country.
Rare and currently undocumented. Were there some forms we should fill out, or...?
Doesn't sound like it, probably.
Forms? Did you forget who you're traveling with?
Outsiders? Visitors to Tural?
We are.
Our nation is soon to hold a right of succession to choose its next dawn servant. We will not abide interference from foreign agents seeking to foment trouble. What brings you to Tule Yolal?
I can answer that. These fine people are allies in my succession bid.
Third promise. If you vouch for them, then all is well. Of course.
We're just like,
Please,
oh shit,
accept our
so important.
apologies.
No need to bow and scrape. That our soldiers are so diligent in their duties fills me with pride.
We'll be continuing our patrol then.
Well, well. You really are a figure of authority here.
Are you suggesting I don't look the part? Anyway, first things first. I bid you welcome to Tule Yolal.
Well, despite the storm's efforts to the contrary, here we are, safe and sound. Being on solid ground has improved Yucklamott's mood, or someone appears to be lagging behind. Right then, first things first. Still a bit queasy. No more boats for a while. I realize we've just arrived, but we should get you familiar with the city before the rite of succession begins. No one's here. I should very much like to explore. Then I'll guide you. Are you sure you're in any condition to do so? Aha, you were wondering who these strange folks were, so the third promise has found yourself some new followers then. Followers? Yucklamat, are you unwell? No, not at all. Couldn't be better. The third promise does not get seasick. No, sir. As for my hand-picked entourage here, I've recruited them to help me win the rite of succession. I was about to show them around the city, in fact. That sounds lovely. A group of foreigners is going to attract attention, especially if they're in the company of the third promise. Everyone will be curious. We certainly were. Your siblings have a tendency to command a respectful distance, but you're just so easy to approach. And I enjoy it so much when you do. Please, don't ever worry that you're a bother to me. You're very kind. Good day to you, third promise. They did have a point. Yucklamotte is technically a royalty here, Like it or not, a personal station surrounded by this many outsiders is bound to draw a crowd. Wait, what do you mean technically? It's just we move in two groups so as to attract less attention. Just technically ignoring me then? You and Crowd can come with me. I'll take the twins then. We'll get in touch once we've had a good look around. That voyage was hard on all of us, so take it slow and recuperate. We have time enough for that. Enjoy your wanderings. Perhaps we should wait a bit, at least until Yuck-Lamont's nausea subsides. No need for that. Look, I'm ready to go. Uh-huh. Sure you are. Sure you are. Why is that not? It's not set to the right goddamn thing. There we go. But now, really, can't stand around all day feeling sorry for myself, what with the contest looming and all. Now then, since we're ready here, I might as well tell you about the harbor. I've already mentioned the reefs in our coastal waters, which explains why you don't see any big ships moored at the docks. Only vessels with shallow drafts can navigate the bay. Mostly small fishing boats or barges ferrying cargo up and down the rivers from inland settlements. Much of the incoming traffic from Dawntrail, the southern landmass, the clans there produce various goods for export. Their wares are unloaded here and carted off to the merchant stalls in the neighboring markets. Speaking of which, Bayside Bevy should be our next stop. Yeah, we're familiar with all that. This is Bayside Bevy, Tuliol's largest marketplace. Being right in the harbor, everything from fresh fish to imported wares go direct to the shelves. Anything you want, they most likely have. Alright, I should mention that here in Tuliol would buy things with Pel, a currency that the Pelo created. Don't worry, more and more trade is coming in from Eorzea, so most shops are happy to accept your gil. There's also Wachu Meki, another market to the east of here, but that can wait for another time. I have other places I want to show you first. Next we'll head back a bit, then up northwards up the stairs to Certain Plaza. Can't wait to see the look on your face. What do you think of that, eh? Goodness me, you have 8th race in Tuliol? Yeah, I told you this before, but my brother Coena spent 3 years studying in Charlian. He fell in love with the nation and its ways and brought back to us the knowledge of 8th rate construction. Papa warmed me to the idea at once, but had one built immediately. Did you do the tuning thing? If you're ready to continue, we'll head down again and then up to the slope to the right. Right at the top is the gate which leads to Dawntrail. So I can stop bright plume posts on the way, though. That's the headquarters for the Lands Guard. Yeah, let's do the attuning thing. I'm liking the kind of look of everything. It's very... 1800s Caribbean, Mexico, South America. Well, I think I made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. I did make a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Oh, well, I'm right here. What are my options for trying to fix it? I think my only option is to just go all the way back. I don't know, maybe we can climb up here. This fancy looking tavern place. A lot of wasted space. It's a little disappointing. They made such a large building and then left it just so empty. It's like you look at the first level and you just kind of expect at least like an actual bar area somewhere in there. He's trying to get on the roof. We have a lot of narrow, winding streets that crawl up the sides of the mountain, as you can see. Though the builders made sure the city's main thoroughfares were wide enough to accommodate wagons. Trashing up down all these slopes and stairs is exhausting. I understand now why our Yuck Lamont gets her endless endurance. I feel like I'm running towards like a Mayan temple. If I'm remembering correctly. Been a long time since I studied Aztec, Mayan, Olmec. Might actually be more Olmec. Remember correctly, the Aztecs really liked their pyramids. My mind wanderings led me astray. Here we are. Bright Bloom Post. The soldiers stationed here are responsible for defending Tulial and preserving the peace. Landsguard are led by our nation's strongest warrior, and so naturally Papa's commanded them since the beginning. At least until 3 years ago when Zoral Jah took over as commander. The title is no empty honor. It means the first promise is considered equal to the Dawn Servant in martial strength. Meanwhile, I haven't even managed to... Well, I discussed my brothers and their conscience later. Alpha no Nalus they should be around to hear it too. Come on, it's time I showed you the Sky Gate. It's right at the northern end of Talon March. Massive, isn't it? And on the other side is an equally massive bridge to match. Both were constructed by a race of giants, the Yakhoi. Strictly speaking, Tyrell is actually two separate continents. Yak-Tyrell, the southern lands of the mother, and Zak-Tyrell, the northern lands of the father, which lie beyond this bridge. Let's just say it used to be the one great landmass, but long, long ago, the two gods fought a titanic battle, and when one threw the other to the ground, the impact was so devastating as to split the continent in twain. A familiar sounding tale I am put in mind of the conflict between Hydaelyn and Zodiark. Getting back to Zak-Tyrell, those lands are also part of the Tuliol nation, correct? That's right. Isn't my father incredible? He united the peoples of two continents into a single nation. The many clans of Tyrell had been at war for generations. It was only when Papa traveled the lands and put a stop to their myriad conflicts that we finally had peace. That's the main reason I want to win the throne, so I can preserve the peace he built. But I see you're more interested beyond the gate than hearing about my aspirations. Crossing the bridge to Zak-Tyrell requires a special travel pass, unfortunately. It won't issue any new permits until the right of succession is over. I promise to get you one when I'm Dawn Servant, but until then, you'll have to wait. Be patient. I swear that once the throne is mine, that travel permit is yours. Must have covered half the city by now. Tuliol is unlike any place I've ever visited. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Yokohama is ready to commence the second half of your Tuliol tour. We'll head west towards the Arch of the Dawn. The dirigible landing is on the way. You have dirigibles too? Tuliol certainly doesn't want for methods of travel. We get by. Now, if you've seen enough of this area, let me know and we'll continue on. The Archer Zone's on the other side of the city, so speak up if you see something that interests you as we walk. I mean, they made this place really huge, but honestly, it feels a bit empty. Really hoping that right now it's just because we're early and that the place grows in a sense, but it's like with this much space I should feel like I should be seeing a lot of NPCs. Just trying to see if how one could construct an entire city on the side of a mountain. This was originally the site of a Yakhoi temple. The giants built it when they were first breaking the bridge to Zak-Tyrell to appease the god who slumbers in the great ocean trench. After the Yakhoi withdrew, the temple stood empty for centuries. So when Papa was establishing his new nation, he saw a structure he could refurbish into a palace, sitting practically in the center of Toral. He gathered artisans to do the work, and the houses they built for themselves became the foundation of the city you see today. Speaking of houses, we'll be passing through the Resplendent Quarter, the biggest residential district in Tulial. We climb these set of stairs here all the way up. Papa's palace is called Valak Shunsa, which roughly translates to Invincible Resilience. Probably want to take a closer look, but we'll come back here later. Let's move on for now. Sheer scale of the place is incredible. I wonder what that carving at the top represents. So this is Resplendent Quarter. What manner of people live here? Oh, we have residents from all the Octoral clans: Mumujog, Zbrel, Pelopelo, Moblin, Hanu Hanu. Also have Tony Wata, Astaro, the Chitana, who moved south from their ancestral lands in Zoctoral. In essence, is a gathering of people from every corner of Toral. It's a representation of Tulial's diverse character. The ornaments on each building contribute to the eclectic and cultural aesthetic. It's all so beautiful. I'm glad you think so. Come, we continue down the stairs. That big drum here is called Dawntrail. They play it for formal occasions like when honoring the Lands Guard returned from dangerous duty. I tried hitting with my axe once and ripped the skin. Aren't to be a proper scolding. Let me tell you, I think that was the time Papa held me upside down by the ankle. I've never seen such an enormous drum. What would one even use to beat such an instrument? Battering ram? So they use alpacas here. And here are our dirigibles. Not bad, eh? I hear other nations use airships to sail the skies, but you only find balloons in Tulial. We have them for the exact same reason as the Aetherites. Koana brought back these planes from Charlian, and Papa thought them fantastic and commissioned their construction. This was around 3 years ago. Since that time, we've added flights to other settlements. Trade with frontier communities has never been easier. That's enough about the rituals. The Arch of the Dawn awaits. This is it, the Arch of the Dawn. When the Giants were still here, it was known as the Dawntrail Land Gate, but when Papa founded Tulial, everyone began using its present name in honor of its great achievement. To this gate is Kazama Uka, the wetland south of the city. Depending on what Rite of the Succession asks of us, we might end up going in that direction. Kazumuaka? The name alone is intriguing. Speaking of which, what were those fluffy animals we passed earlier? Oh, those are alpacas, fearsome four-legged fiends. Fearsome, they seem quite placid to me. You'll learn soon enough, Crow. You'll learn soon enough. But forget the alpacas. I have something far more important to show you. Come along. Did someone tell you that alpacas were food, not friends? If you should learn the history of Tulial, then look no further. These stone pillars, you mean? What's special about these pillars, if I may ask? At a glance, they might look like ordinary stone decorations. But if you take a really good look, you'll see there's something much more interesting. Pictures. Wait, no, these are glyphs. They seem to tell a series of stories, many of them featuring a two-headed Mumu jaw. Oh, then this must be... That's right, it follows the exploits of my father, Golol Jaja, and his journey to unite our lands. We call it the Tulial Saga. The deeds he formed and the bonds he forged are all immortalized in stone. There's no better way to learn how Tulial came to be. Study them as long as you like. This pillar tells the tale of the Brotherhood. It depicts a scene where Papa granted an audience to the foreign explorer Ket's something. I can never remember the name. You mean Kettenram? Ah, that's the one. Kettenram's arrival in Toral is what prompted Papa to embark on his own journey. It's said the two grew to be close friends, brothers in spirit, if not in blood. But no one knows what became of the explorer in later years. Kettenram's disappearance is a mystery in Eorzea as well. The records say he traveled between our lands and yours for a while, but then it assumed he was lost at sea. Here we have the Lay of the Reeds. This is the story of when Papa visited the Hanu Hanu in their village in Kazamuaka. Ah, the people in Alphino mistook for Vanu Vanu. Not for the colorful plumage, he spent a fair bit of time among the Vanu in the Sea of Clouds. So it's no surprise he took an interest in your countrymen. I don't know how it is with your Vanu, but our Hanu are bright and cheerful sort. They hold this one festival every year, very famous and a lot of fun. This one recounts the lay of where it passed. As you can probably tell, the figure here is of the Xbrawl, like me. For decades, the Xbrawl and the Mumuja were at war for control of the forests of Yachtel. The actions Papa took to end that conflict have since been hailed as the first steps in the founding of Tulial. There's a clan of Hrothgar and Brosia known as the Hellions. In their society, the women rule as queens and the men serve as devoted subjects. Yet here in Tyrol, realm men and women appear to be of equal status. How dramatically culture can vary with location. Now let's see, this one is a Lay of Pots, which depicts the moblins of Kazamuaka. They might wear odd masks and sound weirdly muffled when they talk, but the gold and silver work they sell is the best you'll find anywhere. Moblin goods are the standard when it comes to gift giving. Clearly the Vanu aren't the only people with distant Turali counterparts. You know, this first half, we can move on to the second. Ah, the Lay of Proof. That big fellow is of the Yakoi, the largest of Tyrol's people. These giants once used their great size and strength to establish a dominion encompassing all of Yak Tyrol. Having brought the southern reaches to heal, they then turned northward, setting their sights on Zak Tyrol. You recall that massive bridge they built beyond the Sky Gate? Sometime after launching their northern campaign, however, they just gave up. They abandoned the lands they'd conquered and withdrew into the mountains of Urkopacha. I've never even seen any of their kind so much as set foot in the city. This was a people with the power and resourcefulness to raise a temple on a mountaintop and build a bridge across the sea with stone. What moved them to renounce their ambitions and their place in Turali history? Ah, this one is unmarked. Paul says you left a blank pillar for the next chapter of Tulial's history, whatever that might be. Smart. Oh, this one was my favorite, the Lay of Ice. It depicts the battle with the legendary Tyrol Vidril, Valagar Monda. To explain, a Tyrol Vidril is a creature that has lived far beyond its usual lifespan and awakened to preternatural power. Tataru described the Far Eastern auspices in a similar fashion. Could this be the same phenomenon? Velgarmondo itself was dubbed the Sky Ruin, a name earned for the destruction and terror it visited upon Tyrell every time it stirred from its slumber. But 80 years or so ago, its ruinous reign was brought to an end after a great struggle. Papa and his comrades managed to overcome the raging Vidral and sealed it away in the Urkapacha Mountains. Despite its reputation, however, Velgarmondo is also a symbol of power. That's why you'll see its likeness on Tuliol's national emblem and adorning the banners at the palace. The Lay of Gold. This pillar shows one of the Pelo Pelo whose homeland is in Urkapacha. And create our currency, the Pelo are rightfully known as the Merchant Clan. They oversee Tuliol's markets, and their traveling peddlers are a common sight no matter where you go in Tural. Don't let their size fool you. They might be mistaken as children, but beneath those beaked masks, they are clever and calculating traders. Have your fill of history, then. Glad to hear it. No, I feel awfully hungry also. No surprises there, seeing I couldn't keep anything down for a while. Now I think I'm ready to eat again. Let's go and have ourselves a bite of local delicacy. Come, I'll take you to the best restaurant in the city. I like the sound of that. Have you ever had tacos? They're truly all classic. You bake a crunchy shell made from corn flour and fill it with meat and salad. A lot of shops and stalls sell them. I like how they're made here at Zabalve best. I need one right now in front of me. Right now. Let's head downstairs and place an order with old Brukeva. I was gonna say, if there wasn't an amazing view at up on those stairs, I was gonna be so pissed.
Brookevo! My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
Did you hear the Silver Scares are back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
That can't be a good thing.
Aye. And now keen to rebuild their broken reputations, the survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erinville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
Now to find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils.
Never heard of tacos considered called that, but it's the first time for everything.
Oh. Oh.
Now this is gonna be a problem.
If it isn't the third promise.
Oh. No.
I don't know these ones. New salt.
Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother.
Of course, that's it. Wuklamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
The third promise remembers us! Such an honor.
Glory on your name, brother.
And on yours, brother.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn Servant?
No, this brute.
We have no ties to their farce of a family. Unlike the sneevling housecut, we are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn Servant.
All peoples are equal in Tulihiola. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
Shall we test that idea here and now? See if your strength is equal to ours.
None of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense.
Pathetic. Since when was our nation overrun by mewling weaklings?
Listen to me, you.
A two-headed Mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo, the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in a great while, A two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Ubico and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
Blessed siblings indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
Sounds like the right answer.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest. As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wooklamart know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
So it goes.
I was looking forward to applying some authentic Tulial cuisine, but we should hurry and join Alphino and the others at the palace. Alright, it's a bit of a climb up to the top, but you can head up from the Resplendent Quarter. Or even the eastern side of Talamarch if you prefer. Now that you have an idea of how the city is laid out, I'll let you find your own way to Volok Shunsa. My poor empty belly. But you can get tacos and then eat and walk with said tacos all the way up there. Tacos is walking food. Made it good, then we're all here. So hungry enough to eat a whole roasted colibri, but the Condis won't wait for us forever. I've acquainted the twins with the city as best I could in a short time. Their unbridled enthusiasm made it rather difficult, invariably. Something would catch their eye, spurring them to run down an alley to investigate. It's like herding a pair of unruly quarrels. I understand all too well. Charlene had the same effect on me. Right then. Now it's time we saw the inside of the palace. I want to know I'm home and to meet the allies I've chosen. Given how impulsive he is, though, there's no telling what he might be in for.
Estinian? When did he get here?
More to the point, why is he here?
Oh, you know this man? Whenever my father spots a promising opponent, he invites them to Sunperch to duel. Pressing duties or no, he can't resist a good fight.
So the one Estinian is crossing blades with.
That will do, Spearman. I will receive my darling daughter. Know that you are the strongest I fought in many a moon, if not longer. It is the privilege of a life long lived to face such a formidable soul.
If it's formidable you want, then look no further than that woman there.
I see you, warrior.
We had no idea you meant to visit Taral.
I've seen what lies east. This time I chose west.
And thus did our itinerant dragoon make his travel plans.
You witnessed our bout. If you thought he was fearsome, that was with one head dozing.
I'm not sure I understand.
The old man has been feeling his years. The uncovered side is the head of resolve, and age has only deepened his love for combat. But the head of reason, wiser of the two, sleeps more and more these days. As I understand it, the veil helps with the restoration of his magical energies.
Enough about me, Lamati. I want to hear of your adventures.
Lamachi.
A term of endearment. It's what my family calls me.
Oh. When last did we see you in the palace? Greetings, Solanash.
It's Erenville now, Dawnservant.
Uh-huh.
I took the name while abroad, and have since grown accustomed to it.
Erenville, then. And these others? I assume are Lamati's recruited allies. Ha! All tempered steel. Yet as much as I'd enjoy testing their metal, the hour of the right is at hand. I will summon the other claimants at once.
Then I shall leave you to it. Good fortune, my friends.
The claimants are assembled. The first promise, Zorolja. The second promise, Ona. The third promise, Uklamat. And lastly, the chosen of Mamuk, Bakul Jaja. You four will compete in the rite of succession, the outcome of which will decide who takes my place as Dawn Servant. I am not the man I once was. My wiser half sleeps the days away, and it is time I yield my position. But mine is a torch that has never been passed. Tuliyola is young, and so I look to the always for inspiration. The rite of succession, the means by which the autarch of Mamuk was chosen. Only the two-headed were deemed fit for this contest, but the Tuliyola I built is a nation of many peoples. Our leader needn't have two heads, nor be a Mamulcha at all. So I gave the right of claimant, not only to the son I sired, but to my adopted children as well. Yet the opportunity to rule was still not equal. That is why a recent tournament offered a place in the contest as the winning prize.
Now you have us to compete against. Ah, though it seems the one-head was already too afraid to face us in the tournament.
Our brother was in Shock Tural leading the Landsguard on a campaign to eradicate a Tural Vidral. Anyone with sense would know he was too busy for games.
Now for the part you've been waiting to hear. The nature of the contest itself. To triumph in the right of succession, and thereby claim our nation's throne, you must travel the lands of Yogg-Tural and find the City of Gold.
The
If I
only
may,
sad
Father.
about that is the third promise.
Speak, Kona.
The Golden City is an ancient Turali legend, but after so many failed attempts to find it, the story has become more fairy tale than fact. If you would charge us with such a quest, are we then to assume you have proof of the city's existence?
I offer as proof my unbroken word, for I have seen it with my own four eyes.
The city's real. All those years.
This was before the founding of Tuliyola. I traveled the lands of Tural with my companions, and we ended our journey at the gates to the Golden City. I mean to have you do the same, but in order to achieve victory proper, you need to break the seal I put in place. Bring them.
Die Tuliyola saga.
You will retrace the path I walked to unite our peoples, step by step. Along the way, 7 chosen electors will be waiting to measure your worth. Earn their keystones by performing the feats they ask of you. Once you've fitted each of the 7 tablets with the keystone, you'll have the key to unlock the seal on the Golden City's gates.
So the contest is in stages, none of which can be skipped by rushing to the ultimate objective.
Exactly. Exciting, isn't it?
Probably for everyone but the contest
Martial
winner.
tournaments, hunting festivals, and now this? You do so love your contests, Papa.
Were I a few years younger, I would have joined in myself, giving you a proper challenge. You may think the ride is tedious or nonsensical, or both, but I am yielding our nation's throne. Let me have this final indulgence.
A waste of time. Just name Bakunja just successor and be done with it.
The rite of cessation begins now. I'll be watching your progress with great interest. And Clemens, remember to collect your tablets before you leave. You are one of Lamachi's allies. Speak freely.
I am Cryle Baldessian, representative of the students of Baldessian. My name is perhaps familiar to you?
Ah.
It would seem you sent this letter to my orders some years ago. The ink has since faded and much of the writing is illegible. Even so, we managed to determine the essence of it. A request to investigate the Golden City, addressed to my grandfather, Galuf. Included with the correspondence was this earring. A fairy tale and a piece of jewelry were enough to convince my grandfather to sail halfway across the world. So there is surely some greater mystery at work here. On behalf of the students, I've come to seek clarification on the matter. Have you any knowledge you might share with me?
No, not at this time. I have tasked the claimants with finding the Golden City. To fulfill your request,
would afford one of them an unfair advantage in the right of succession. But once the contest is decided, I plan to entrust the entire truth to my successor. If you want to hear it, then you had best help Lamachi win.
Very well, Dawn Servant. On my honor as a student of Baldessian, I will find your golden city. Thank you for hearing my petition.
How about that? She's grown into a remarkable young woman. You should be proud, Galov.
Too late to change your mind now, I suppose. But are you sure you wish to be part of this?
Yeah, why not?
Our third promise is not wont to take no for an answer. Though you may have agreed to help, I worry that you were swept up in her relentless enthusiasm. Or perhaps you've been lured by the glory of the Golden City. Either way, this contest for the throne will place you and yours at the heart of political turmoil. If you are second-guessing your decision, tell me now. This may be my last chance to help you withdraw.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it. Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
Is that so? I will speak no more of it then. As for my own involvement, I can no longer conduct myself as a mere guide, I think. Not after the Dawn Servant's revelation.
Yeah, you're a spy.
Here they come! It's Zeralja! Such a fearsome mien. Make no mistake, there goes Tuliola's mightiest warrior.
First promise, our village needs aid. The cold weather stunts our crops, and the children of our village go hungry. Once you ascend the throne, I beg of you, grant my people new lands, please!
Zeralja. Take heart, tiller of the soil.
The Resilient son, blood heir to the Dawn Servant, has heard your pleas.
Zeralja, the first promise and commander of the Landscape. Zeralja, the Palaceer. As he was so careful to remind the crowd, Zeralja is indeed the natural child of Gulul Jaja.
And resilient son, Is that another title, like the first promise?
After a fashion. Common knowledge has it that two-headed Mamulja cannot sire children. Yet Soralja was born all the same, with the head of Resolve's features and the head of Reason's scales. An extraordinary example of life's unyielding resilience.
And a warrior's reticence. He says little, but the way he moves... I know a hardened soldier when I see one.
He's a natural swordsman. A gift he inherited from his father. Some even say that the son has already surpassed the sire. Should he come to power, the first promise means to employ that martial prowess in the conquest of foreign lands. For this, he and his supporters have been labeled expansionists. This puts him in direct opposition to Wuklamat, who advocates for the preservation of peace. You may recall that she spoke of a claimant who cannot be allowed to rule. That is Soralja, the warmonger.
Cryon, are you all right?
The echo. It gave me a glimpse into Zoralja's ambitions. Deep and unknowable, like an abyss. Yet at the same time, a roaring, unquenchable fire. It was a trifle terrifying, to be frank.
Second promise! You must bring us more marvelous conveniences! More dirigibles and trains and the like. We need you in charge to make trading easier.
The elders, they complain and complain about abandoning tradition. But we're not like them, afraid of everything foreign and new.
You have our wholehearted support. With your ingenuity and knowledge, you're sure to win the contest.
Forgive me, but the rite of succession is barely begun. I will hear your petitions if and when I am named Dawn Servant. If you will excuse me.
Plain spoken, as always.
That's Arcona. Practical to a fault.
Here we have Kona, the second promise, who spent time as a pupil at Sharlian's own studium.
Now that you mention it, I think I did see him in the halls once or twice. There was nothing to suggest he was Turali, much less from a royal family.
That was by design. He forwent his usual garb and took an Eorzean name to avoid attention.
So it was Kona who introduced the dirigibles. And the railway too, given what we just heard.
In furtherance of his goal, to enrich Tuliolal with every bright notion he learned of in Sharlian. He is the hope of those who prize innovation. As aloof as he may seem, Kona and Wuklamat actually get along rather well. They bicker and banter as only close siblings do.
How gracious of you all to cheer the lesser claimants. Oh, come now. What are you afraid of? I'm no different from your Dawn servant. That my kind should reign is Mamulja tradition. and has been so since before there was a Tuliola. I'll brush aside your feeble contenders. And then you'll see who deserves your fealty.
Well said, brother.
The Mamulja have finally found peace in Tuliolal. I pity those fanatics are intent on keeping that tradition alive.
The chosen of Mamuk, Bakul Jaja, winner of the recent martial tournament, and the only claimant not of the Dawn's promise. His strength is undeniable, but you see how he is. A few devoted Mamulja are his only supporters.
What would he do with the throne should he win it?
Go back to the old
policies
ways.
and so forth. I doubt he's thought much beyond winning the contest itself. But one thing seems certain. If he does become Dawn Servant, he will see the Mamulja exalted as the ruling class, and all others forced into subservience.
Sounds like another that cannot be allowed to rule.
We wish for one thing and one thing only, Third Promise. To abide together in harmony with our neighbors whom we love in this land we share. It is our way, the Turoli way.
Galul Jaja built for us this peaceful nation, and we beg you to preserve it.
You have my word. I won't let your pleas go unanswered.
Until Tuliolal was founded some 80 years ago, this continent was ravaged by war. The eldest among us remember that dark era, and they are Wuklamat's most ardent supporters.
Apologies. It's hard to get away. This is Namika, my childhood nursemaid. She's been like a mother to me my whole life. I told her it wasn't necessary, but she insisted on seeing us off.
I place our precious Third Promise into your care.
Did you know Wuklamat was taking part in the rite of succession?
Of the Dawn's Promise? I thought it was only Zoralja and Kona. If she has any accomplishments to her name, I've yet to hear them.
Compared to the two Mamulja, she pales in martial prowess. And then there's Kona, who's far and away the most educated of the bunch. I hate to say it, but it's hardly a competition.
Yeah, but she's got better allies.
It's fine. More than anyone. I understand how much better my brothers are than me.
Better? Wuklamat. I have never thought of you as the lesser sibling. Your brothers may excel in their respective ways, but you boast qualities that both lack. A strength that is yours alone. Having cared for you for so long, I should know.
Thank you, Namika. Well, we ought to be on our way.
Yes, hurry along. I await word of your victory with bated breath.
Well, so much for this brief reunion I had in mind. Papa is not one to waste time when he decides to act. Used to it by now, of course, but others are often caught off guard. In any case, we should talk about how we're going to find the City of Gold. All we have to work with are the 7 tablets and their connection to the Tulial saga. I suggest first comparing the tablets against the pillars. We could check for any discrepancies between them. Good idea, let's go and take a look. That makes everyone. You can mount the tablets if you would. Of course. Something about everyone has a tablet to compare. Unless I'm missing something, the glyphs appear to be identical. Only difference being the tablets have hollows where the keystones are to be fitted. So now that we've established that the scenes are the same, where do we go from here? Dawntrail said we were to retrace the path he walked in uniting Tural's people, and that we would encounter 7 electors along the way. And we have the answer right here in front of us. Papa's path is all laid out in the Tulial saga. The events the glyphs portrayed, do we know the exact locations where they took place? If one is close, we could go there and search for an elector. That would confirm we're on the right track. And let me think. The Lay of Reeds was in the nearby Hanu Hanu settlement. Papa took me there once. It was during the festival season. The whole village was alive with good cheer. There's also the Lay of Gold. That one involved the Pelo Pelo village, which is about the same distance from here. If we're going anywhere, we should ask around about the road ahead. I had a lot of talk as we toured the city about the storm we passed through at sea. Apparently it ravaged Tural several days ago. Since our roads are not as well paved as Eorzea's, they're more susceptible to damage from natural disasters. If we want to avoid wasting time taking a dead-end trail, I suggest we spend a few moments making inquiries. If it's information we need, just leave it to me. I'll bring the information to us. be prudent to ensure we prepare for the journey. I'll guide you to the accommodations I've arranged. That's right, the reservation is under Yuck Lamont's name. If you don't mind, I'll leave the companions to you. Certainly, sir. I'll go and track down the third promise. Once you finish organizing your gear, you can meet us outside Zeblavtai. Greetings, visitors to Tulial, and welcome to the Forard Cabins. Whenever you are ready, I'll show you to your rooms. Trust you to be the keenest to head out. But where are Aaronville and Yuck Lamont, I wonder? Oh, good, you're all here. Who might your companions be? Seems we need information. I thought you'd better get it from the locals. These two hail from the villages we're thinking to visit. I give you credit for taking initiative, at least. What do you mean, at least? I am honored that the third promise would seek my advice. I too am happy to answer your questions. Any encounter might be an opportunity to do business. Thank you both for your help. Before we begin, there will doubtless be other occasions when we need to act independently, so I brought these for the two of you. What's this? It's called a link pearl, a gemstone harvested from a special shell. When linked together, they allow people to communicate across great distances. Is that so? What a handy thing to have. Be very useful in our travels. Speaking of which, I should get back to introducing my two new friends here. The Tulial saga features a number of Tural's clans. Two of those, the Hanu Hanu and the Pelu Pelu, have settlements relatively close to the city, so I brought a representative of each. As I mentioned before, the Hanu are a cheerful people who love their festivals. They make their appearance in Lay of Reeds, and their home village, Akwanu, is located in Kazumuaka. The other smaller fellow is one of the Pelo, a clan of business-minded folk from Urqupacho. Watch it. They appear in the Lay of Gold and craft all kinds of marvelous goods in Wachun Pello, their village. Now as we're deciding which village to visit first, why don't you put that adventurous instinct of yours to work for us? Pick our destination. So we only do one path at a time. And then we come back to the other path. Go with this path. To Kazumoaka. Lefuhanu is waiting to answer your questions. So what is it you'd like to know? Throughout Akono, we go south through the Arch of the Dawn and follow the road which runs alongside the Kazumoaka River, is that right? It is. Be warned, however, my brethren tell me this recent storm has rendered the path even muddier than usual. Footing is quite poor in some parts. Far worse was the destruction visited upon our homes, though. Houses were torn apart, and several people injured if not killed. Even our beloved festival is in danger of being called off this year. If you do still plan on going, I must urge you to proceed with caution. We'll be sure to watch our footing. Thank you. Onward for the Hanu. It sounds like they were hit hard by that storm anyway. If we're bound for Kazumoaku, we should head over to the Arch. Way back to talk to you in good time, Master Merchant. Meanwhile, you can eat and drink your fill of Zabaliev Tai. It's all been arranged. Are we all ready to leave? Then onward to Kazumoaka. Open the way.
Kozamauka, the land of rainbow terraces. It commands the gaze of all who visit without fail. The many-colored marvel. An endless torrent of water cascades over sheer cliffs to shape the wetlands below. To its relentless flow, all life must yield. Together with Wuklamat, we proceeded along the marshy trail, a road upon which the Dawn Servant and his comrades once traveled.
Look at those falls. Even from this distance, you can feel the weight of that water.
I mean, that is an amazing sight.
The Isle of Ham was impressive, but as you can see, Tulihiola does not want for natural wonders.
The ground is swampy, so watch your step. You wouldn't want to fall into a bog.
I won't. I told you I've been here before. Come on. Okanu isn't much farther.
Okay. There's no stopping the third promise, is there? Good thing she has Aaronville to keep her from getting lost. For all his grumbling, he's certainly there for her. Everyone should be so lucky to have such a loyal childhood friend. Alright, let's get moving. Continuing along the road, we should find ourselves in the village before long. Everyone has arrived, none the worse for wear, except for a certain third promise who slipped in the mud despite my explicit warnings. I asked you not to say anything. Anyway, this is the Hanu village I was telling you about. Akanu. Yuck Lamont wishes to seek out the Dawn Servant's elector. It's like our friend said, the people are in no mood for festivities. Don't assume they are still recovering from the damage wrought by the storm. Indeed, well, let's do what we came to do and find this elector. Oh, Kali. Oh, what now? It's a Hanu greeting. Surely you heard it the last time you were here. Well, I was busy enjoying the festival. Greetings to the third promise and her entourage. I, Zanu Hali, welcome you to Akanu. As elder of my people, I shall also be fulfilling the duties of elector during the rite of succession. So our idea about the electors was correct. We'll just do as Papa said and retrace his path from the saga. I'm ready. Give me the feat and test my worth. All in good time. All in good time. In fact, I came to let you know that we are not quite ready to begin. For the moment, please enjoy the hospitality of our village. If we poke around a bit then, we might pick up some clues about the feat, you know, prepare ourselves. That's surprisingly prudent of you. What, you think I'm being too cautious? Not at all. No, I'm impressed is all. You admire and respect your father, who is prone to a decisive action. So I expect you to rush in first and ask questions later, or never. I do look up to Papa, but you should know that he was the pragmatic side too. The head of reason is the thinker who takes time to consider all the possibilities. With the long naps he takes these days, though, the head of resolve is less restrained by his wisdom. Can't fault you for thinking that's all there is to him, but there's more to the Dawn Servant you've seen thus far. I should like to speak with the head of reason one day. Well, I'm sure you'll catch him awake soon enough. To return to the subject at hand, you wish to look around Akanu, then. Do some groundwork before the feat begins? Something like that. I mean, I could probably pass this test with my eyes closed, but it'll keep us busy while we're waiting. Yokomun has the right of it. As Elder Zanu Holly is resident of this village, learning more about it can only improve our chances in the feat. Might have suggested a division of forces, for instance. Aaronville, Alice, and Crow could concentrate on the southern half of the settlement. Meanwhile, Yuclamont, Carrie, and myself will handle this northern half. Sounds good to me. Before I ever forget to do it. Looks like another massive area. Usually when you zoom all the way out on the map, you can see the entire map, but not here. You heard about the storm? I've never seen the likes of it before. Supplies and help the Dawn servants sent, we're making progress repairing and building our homes. While roofs and walls can be patched, there's so much else that was lost for good. A lot of houses are so damaged, and the Hanu I've spoken to are not their usual cheerful selves. That sort of broke more than wood and reeds. There must be something I can do to help them. I want to look around a bit more. This boat must be woven from the same reeds I've seen gathered into bundles here and there. The plants hold both practical and cultural significance to the Hanu, then. Hello, can you all hear me? I'm told they've ready to receive us now. Come to the large building in the south of the village. On my way. You gotta hurry over too.
No sign of Zorolja or that oversized lout.
They have gone the other route.
How much easier it would be if Soralja were to fail here. But that isn't likely to happen.
Honored guests, I am Zanuhali, Elder of the Hanu. I am also an elector, charged with judging which among you is worthy of ascending the throne. Without further ado, let us talk of the feat.
Not so fast. Surely you couldn't begin without us.
Ugh, you made it after all.
No need to fuss. There is no time limit for this challenge. Now, if you would allow me to proceed. It is here, in Okanu, where my people forged a bond with the Dawn Servant during our own chapter of the Tuli Yolal saga. In homage to those events, I have prepared for you the Feat of Reeds.
Reeds seem to be of great importance to the Hanu. I wonder what this feat entails.
We use reeds in every part of our lives, be it as food or weaving material. But look around the nearby paddies, and you will see that this season, our crops are failing. How fortunate, then, that my appointment to Elector coincided with this predicament. For surely, those who aspire to be Dawn Servant would find the matter of an ailing harvest a mere trifle to resolve.
Aye, well, it is indeed the duty of a ruler to address the people's woes.
Exactly, exactly. Do well in this, and you will earn my keystone.
Why bother mucking about in the mud when we can take the stone by force?
Oh, mercy me! You are a hot-headed fellow, Bakul Jaja. Some electors may enjoy going toe-to-toe with scrappers like you, but I refuse to entertain your base instincts. Arrangements have been made. Should you attempt to engage a feat giver in combat without their consent, word of your immediate disqualification will be sent to the palace. If you're still feeling feisty, then by all means, draw your weapon.
This contest is presided over by cowards. There's no sport in fighting you.
Then we can return to the business of earning my keystone. The Feat of Reeds is begun. Claimants, I wish you the best of luck.
The clever kitty crossed the seas to study foreign novelties. He might know tricks we don't. Tricks we can use.
What of Little Miss Mittens?
You know the answer to that. Compared to the first and second promise, she's a distant third. Not even in the running.
Then we see eye to eye on this, brother. Being Bakul Jaja so long with me has rubbed off on you. These allies of hers, though, they might be a problem.
Damn it! I'm just as qualified to be here as they are. I'll show them.
Easy now. There's no time limit, remember? Let's keep calm and think things through.
Right. You're right. I won't win against that lumbering Vidrol by losing my head.
Yakuma's eager to solve the Hanu Hanu's woes. Well, actually, we will get to that here on another stream, as it is that time where I need to get going and get some stuff done before guests show up. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us here this afternoon. We'll be back later with more something. Till then, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.